In Kingston, it is not uncommon to see places with Chinese influence. There is even a Chinese cemetery where Jamaican Chinese and Chinese immigrants would bury their family members in traditional Chinese fashion. And to this day, it is not a completely uncommon sight to see a Jamaican Chinese in passing. Many Chinese remnants can be found, like this former Chinese school that is now used as a Catholic monastery. The priest that now runs this monastery is Father Richard Ho Lung, a Jamaican Chinese who runs a mission that serves the poor of the ghettos of downtown Kingston. Like many of the other minority groups in Jamaica, most of the Chinese migrants came as indentured servants who were used to work the fields after Jamaica abolished slavery. A large portion of the Jamaican Chinese community has left the country for places like Miami.
The Indians and Indians and Chinese came over as indentured laborers. After emancipation in Jamaica, they didn't have anybody to work the fields, so they had to bring in laborers to do this. And how they did this was the British obviously already had a presence in India and already had a presence in China, so they started recruiting peasants from these areas. And in China during that time also there was a lot of starvation. So anything outside of China was a great opportunity. So a lot of Chinese men took up this opportunity to go anywhere.
The Jamaican Chinese have had many roles in Jamaican society, and they have even helped create and produce some of the country's reggae music, such as Jamaican Chinese record producer Leslie Kong, who worked with artists like Bob Marley and Jimmy Cliff.
Part Asian in you, right?
Yeah, definitely. My grandfather's father's from China.
Right, and you have people from Portuguese in you?
Yeah, Portuguese blood, same way.
Little African blood in you?
African blood, and also one of my grandparents from England.
When they arrived in Jamaica first, they were sent out to different plantation and estates. And then, most of these obviously were not in Kingston. So when the period of indentureship ended and they were in Port Antonio, let's say, what they would do, although Port Antonio is mainly a banana area, not a cane, what they would do at that stage is they would decide to settle in the area. And they noticed that a lot of the other cane cutters and laborers in the area would go into Kingston, once a week, once a month to buy stuff, clothes, food, that sort of stuff. So what they decided to do is, why don't I go to Kingston and buy a large quantity of this stuff, open a shop, right, and sell to all of these people and save them the trouble of having to go into Kingston. And that's how the Chinese grocery shop was created in Jamaica. Every single town in Jamaica, without exception, has a Chinese grocery shop.
Many of the Jamaican Chinese have come from very humble and poor beginnings, but many have risen above the obstacles they have been faced with in Jamaica.
The Chinese always felt that the way out of poverty was education. So there was always a great emphasis on Chinese children growing up to be educated. So you'll find that in the Chinese community in Jamaica, most of the kids have graduate degrees or went on to further their education either here in the States or in England.
You done stole my belongings and give to your Chinese man. God in heaven knows, He knows that you are wrong. Are you a Chinese man? Are you a black man? It don't need no eyeglass to see that your skin is black.
By and large, most Chinese Jamaicans never felt Jamaican. We went to school, a lot of Jamaican friends, but we never felt that feeling of belonging. We never felt we were really a Jamaican.
Was this
Worthwhile fighting for our country.
Though many Jamaican Chinese have left Jamaica, others have remained and not only assimilated with Jamaican culture, but have at the same time maintained their Chinese heritage and roots.
It's a place for us to meet, gather.
right?
We have two major annual events. One in spring for Chinese New Year,
Right.
and then we also do something for the National Day, which is China National Day. Very few will come and light incense, as you see the incense around there.
At the CBA, you will find a Taoist temple and language classes open to Jamaicans of all ethnic backgrounds.
我去邮局买邮票。我去邮局买邮票。
The CBA has a kung fu studio and a museum with artifacts brought by the original Chinese settlers.
The Jamaican love for food, and this was something that we commissioned when we had our 150th anniversary. And what we've done is that you've seen here, we've juxtaposed the ackee with the lychee, which is a Chinese vegetable. But this Chinese vegetable, everybody knows by its Chinese name. The thing is not, I am not racist. I am far from being racist. But I'm extremely proud of who all my grandparents are. So this is why there is this great passion for me personally to know about who my ancestors were, where they came from in China, and also at the same time to preserve and to teach the wider Jamaicans that the Chinese played an important part in developing the young country of Jamaica.
So more and more in the late 60s, early 70s, you started to see a lot more Chinese integrated into the community. They became members of the JCs, they became members of all this, the civic clubs like Ritter and Kiwanis and Lions Club. And this started to make a difference. I think the image of the Chinese Jamaican was more of being Jamaican more than Chinese. I am Jamaican primarily, but my ethnicity is Chinese, but I am Jamaican. And many of us don't speak Chinese. So why would I consider myself Chinese primarily when I don't even speak Chinese?